Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. Expand more. Spiritual. Welcome to the live. Happy Friday. Welcome, welcome. Welcome in. Today we're talking about what happens to you mentally, physically, and spiritually after escaping narcissistic abuse. That's what we're talking about today. So come on in. If you've ever experienced narcissistic abuse or you've escaped narcissistic abuse, these are some things you can escape. We're talking about what happens to you mentally, physically, and spiritually after you escape narcissistic abuse. That's what we're talking about today. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Get going. Come on in. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody. Today we're talking about what happens to an empath after narcissistic abuse. The mental, the physical, and the spiritual transformation. Come on in and tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody. We're going deep. We're going deep today. We're going deep today. What happens to you after you escape narcissistic abuse, mentally, physically, and spiritually? Come on in. Come on in. Happy Friday. Come on in. 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 This is what we're talking about. We're talking about what happens to you physically. Hey, Cynthia. What happens to you physically, spiritually, and mentally after you escape from narcissistic abuse? What happens to you? This is what we're talking about. What happens to an empath after escaping narcissistic abuse? After you go through your awakening, what happens to you? What you can expect? How you know you're on the right track? Things to look out for. This is what we're talking about today. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Happy Friday to you. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you. This is what we're talking about today. What happens to an empath after waking from narcissistic abuse? What are the changes you go through physically, spiritually, and every other way? This is what we're exploring today with great detail. Come on in. Come on in. Greetings, 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 greetings. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Come on in. So let's get started. You see, first of all, most people imagine freedom from narcissistic abuse as some sort of a cinematic climax. They think they're going to be 1,000 exploding suns, big applause from the universe, and all that. But the reality of a spiritual awakening, when you wake up from narcissistic abuse, is far stranger. Because when you finally arrive, it doesn't feel like glory. It feels different. It's quieter. It's deeper. Sometimes it's anticlimactic. Like, is this it? That's really what it is. A lot of people think that when you escape from narcissistic abuse and you've healed and you are in your full healed version, the best version, that at that point, there will be angels singing left and right every day. You'll be having lucid dreams every day. But again, the reality is that awakening and coming to a place of peace feels in many cases very anticlimactic. Peace can feel very boring. It's quieter. And the paradox is that is not failure. You see, Diane, that's not failure. It is the evidence of transformation. Because narcissistic abuse doesn't simply scar you, it remakes you. Narcissistic abuse remakes you, right? It remakes you. And it doesn't just change your life, it alters your mind, it alters your body, and it alters your spirit. You see? And the person who emerges is not the one who dreamed of escape, because that old self is gone. That old self is gone, never to return. Is what's called in Buddhism, anatta, the false self. There's no permanent self, because what remains is a consciousness forged in fire, tested in silence, and carried by presence. You said it. This is pure Jawex. You see? So let me talk more about the mental transformation that happens to you. We're going to talk about the mental, the physical, and the spiritual transformation. See, abuse begins as a psychological colonization of your mind, a spiritual colonization of your spirit, and often a physical colonization of your body. Because the narcissist installs themselves into your thought process using gaslighting, projection, manipulation. All of these are designed to erode your perception of reality. So, from a cognitive psychological standpoint, survivors who've been observed, survivors of narcissistic abuse, develop cognitive dissonance, meaning holding contradictory beliefs that don't help them at the same time. They love me, they hate me. I'm safe, I'm unsafe. They're mean, but they're nice to me. And the brain bends to reconcile what cannot be reconciled. The poetics, right? Do you see? So trauma reduces your memory's function, the hippocampus, and it inflates activity in your amygdala, the fear center. So you begin to misplace memory. You begin to doubt perception, and you confuse the narcissist's voice for your own. This is what happens when you're gaslit. This is how the narcissist affects you mentally. But when you escape narcissistic abuse, there is a mental renaissance, because clarity returns when you're no longer around these demons. You see, your discernment returns. Treasure Star, Joshua, your discernment returns, Ellie. Fog dissipates, and the empath begins to see through manipulation, not only in relationships, but in political systems, in organizational systems, and in cultural systems. You know, somebody tell me if I'm talking to you. Because we're talking about transformation here. Somebody tell me if I'm talking to you. And if I'm talking to you, please type transform in the comment section. I want to know I'm talking to you. You see? I want to know. If I'm talking to you, type transform in the comment section. I want to know. This is Road to Perdition, J Electronica and Jay-Z. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, Giggles, the Griggles. Thank you, Mystical Raven. Thank you, Hope for Health One. I just want to know that I'm talking to you. Thank you, Earthlines. Thank you, Joshua. Thank you, Ellie. Joshua's like, what's going on here? What does it feel like is going on here, Joshua Shell? So let me keep going. Experiences that were once fragmented by trauma, blessed love, Diane, become knit into coherent narratives. You begin to make sense of your journey in retrospect. So often survivors of narcissistic abuse recall forgotten details once they were saved. You remember I talked to you about how the hippocampus gets affected, right? So the self no longer lives on borrowed stories. You move from being a character in the narcissist script to being the author of your own. I mean, why would you want to be an extra in the narcissist script? Why? I'm just curious. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to be an extra in the narcissist script? Excuse me. When you should be filling your own cup, like my brethren Latosh is saying here. Filling your own cup. You see what I'm saying? You no longer live as an extra in the narcissist script. And that mental rebirth is echoed in Buddhist psychology. It's known as right view, which is the capacity to perceive things as they are, not as illusions or how the illusion tries to make you see it, or your own conditioning. You see what I'm saying? I mean, are we filling our cup here? I mean, are we getting the vibes? You see, in the Christian tradition, this is what is referred to as be ye transformed by the renewal of your mind. And in Stoicism, this is what is known as catalepsis. Up, gringos. We love that. Clear grasping of reality and shaking by deception. Your mind becomes the site of liberation. Hello? Am I not talking to you? Am I not talking to you, Diane? Renewal of the mind. Your mind becomes the site of liberation. As Bob Marley said, emancipate your mind, yourself from mental slavery. Do you see what I'm saying? This is what it's about. This is how you free yourself from mental slavery. Before I go to the physical side, give thanks and honor and respect. You understand? All knowledge is singular. There's only one source of knowledge. It's known as being syncretic. You know, it's just about all knowledge is one. Mathematics explains art. Art explains sociology. Sociology explains technology. And the spirit explains it all. You see me? That's why people study the 7 liberal arts. You know, you become a Freemason, you're told to study the 7 liberal arts. Or if you go to Oxford or Cambridge, you study PPE, philosophy, politics, economics. If you study philosophy, politics, economics, you know everything. You get me? Am I dropping some information or am I talking to myself? Somebody tell me before I keep going. Hallelujah. Feeling the cups. I'm glad you're listening, Tresha. Big up yourself. By the way, Tresha, how are you adjusting to your new life? So this is what it is, right? Bernadette Hunt, Wagwan. You see, when you renew your mind becomes the site of liberation. Who wants to live in mental bondage? Who wants to? Who wants to live in mental bondage? Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to do that? What you can be up for? You free yourself from mental slavery because this is how you get God. This is how you get God. And the primary transformation that happens to you is exactly what the great Bob Marley is talking about here on this tune, Redemption Song. You see? Because the point I'm making here is your mental transformation. This is what I'm talking about. Today we're talking about the spiritual, the physical, and mental transformation. Yes, they rob I. Step right to the present ship. Minutes after they took I from the bottomless pit of narcissistic abuse. And was made strong by the hands of the Almighty. We saw in this generation triumphantly. What? Would you help me sing? Come on. These songs of freedom. What? That's all I ever had. Come on, Bob. Redemption song. And this is coming. Listen for the mental side. Redemption song. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. And ourselves can free our mind. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Some say it's just a part of it. Come on, to fulfill the. You know what I'm saying? Would you help me sing? Oh my! This is what it's about. You see what I'm saying? This is what it's about. This is what it's about. Mental freedom. You see? So let me keep going. Let me keep going. Let me keep going. Now I want to go to the physical side. What happens to you physically? You see, abuse inscribes itself into your body. So you don't just remember the trauma, the biggest. You see, cortisol, which is the stress hormone, cortisol saturates the system. So your immune system malfunctions. You're often plagued with chronic fatigue, autoimmune disease, intestinal problems, insomnia, because abuse traps the body in survival mode, in fight or flight or freeze. And the nervous system forgets what safety feels like. Fibroids, exactly. You see? But when you escape narcissistic abuse, and you come into a relationship. Oh, I'm so sorry, Mr. Ray. You come into a relationship with your breath. Your vagus nerve reopens access to calm. Your muscles soften. You're no longer stiff. Armor dissolves from your shoulders, your jaws, your spines. You sleep better. Your digestion is restored. You may even be eating better food. You see, even sometimes eating food as medicine. You don't have to be vegan or vegetarian, but maybe sometimes you are. Sometimes you fast. And your energy shifts. You shift from hypervigilance to presence. And physically, you return into, oh, I'm so glad, Brita, you return into embodiment. You stop living in reaction to other people's chaos. Remember, you become the director of your own movie. And you start inhabiting your own skin as sacred territory. You know, this is all a simulation. Remember, there was an organization at Oxford University called the Future of Humanity Institute. Used to be run by a man called Dr. Nick Bostrom. He wrote a book called Superintelligence. And by the way, we know superintelligence can create full unemployment by 2030. What Nick Bostrom and his researchers found was that the what we call our life is a simulation. This is a simulation theory. So if you're the director of your own movie, you're creating your own simulation, not plugged into someone else's matrix. Am I making sense? So you physically, you come into embodiment. And from spiritual perspectives, right? Yes, it's on YouTube. It's all going to be on YouTube, darling. Everything is on YouTube too. Physically, you return into embodiment. This is what in the Tao is called coming into the flow of your chi or your pranayama in yoga, right? Or your doshas, right? Coming into alignment, or you're becoming more shamanic in your use of indigenous medicine. Your body is no longer a prison. It becomes a temple. So if it's a temple, you're not going to abuse yourself, because when you love yourself, you're not going to abuse yourself. And if you don't abuse yourself because the kingdom is within, are you going to allow anybody to abuse you? No. You won't do it. You won't do it. Excuse me. So let me talk about what happens to you spiritually. The most profound change you will experience after you go through the initiation of narcissistic abuse is the spiritual change, Diane. So from the esoteric lens, the narcissistic abuse is not just psychological, it's enchantment, it's spell work, it's sorcery, it's hell. Love bombing functions as glamour, casting illusions of grandeur. Trauma bonds act as psychic cords, binding the empath to the abuser. Sovereignty, I love the word. Devaluation drains your energy like a vampire. And the empath is not just controlled, you're mystically bound. But when you leave, when you escape, and the key word here is escape, okay? With the narcissist, you got to be very smart. It's way smarter than them. So it's about escaping. Oh, Dr. Ramirez, thank you, Keep shining, you heard me? Keep shining. Thank you for the blessings and the kind word. You see, leaving abuse is therefore a rite of passage. You see, it's a rite of passage because every spiritual tradition confirms this. And it doesn't matter what religious expression you choose, as long as you're saying truth, you can go anyway. So let me give you some examples, right? Journaling is powerful. And gratitude to everybody who's here, right? And share this and tell somebody and tell somebody. And thank you for all your energetic presence and donations and everything. I really appreciate it. Now, from the Christian perspective, it is said that this is the crucifixion before resurrection. What does that mean? So you go through the humiliation ritual, you're betrayed, you're killed symbolically, then you're reborn. This is the meaning of being born again. You don't literally go into the womb, but symbolically you go into the Ankh. You see, in the Buddha Dharma and Buddhism, this is the first noble truth, that suffering is presence. And suffering is the door to enlightenment, awakening. I wouldn't be sitting here if I didn't go through all the lifetime of suffering I went through, and the most intense ones that pushed me over the edge. In the Islam, in Quran, it said, indeed, with hardship comes ease, because trials purify and prepare the soul. That's in the Surah 94, verse 6. In Hinduism, Arjuna's despair on the battlefield lifted into divine beauty by Krishna because of his suffering on the battlefield. You see, this is also the Fana, where you destroy the ego and you come to what's real in the Sufi tradition. So the empath's path through abuse is the universal archetype of initiation. What looked like destruction was consecration. Do you see? This is what happened. You see, this is the whole kit and caboodle. So you shift from being bound to becoming sovereign, and you discern illusions instantly. What do you think you should be preparing yourself for? No more taxes. Tell me. Only you can tell me. So you begin to see dynamics. You begin to see through things. You embody both shadow and light. And you become a reflection of as above, as below. Stardust, carbon, and stardust. Because that's what we are. And that's what the stars are made of, right? Hi, Tiffany. So as I come to the end here, abuse feels like chaos, right? It's never ending because you are searching. You have to become still. No more taxes. It's right in front of you. Tiny disturbances create vast shifts in systems, and abuse was that disturbance that pushed you over the edge. So as you heal, you're coming to a syncretic awareness. You know, where there was betrayal, you become loving. Is it possible to wake someone up from their dissonance? Your only job is to awaken yourself. And as you awaken yourself, you become a living embodiment of what's possible. And therefore, you can facilitate the awakening of other people, but you cannot do it for them. And if you haven't awoken, what kind of awakening would you be offering people? Bypassing. You see what I'm saying, Brenda? So the empath, after escaping narcissistic abuse, is total. Mentally, you shift from confusion to clarity, and you reclaim your perception as sacred. You see, physically, you shift from armor to aliveness. Oh, thank you, Drunken Philosophy. And you begin to treat your body as your temple. And spiritually, you shift from being spellbound to sovereign, carrying the authority of initiation, where you can call yourself a dark empath or a demon slayer or a transformational coach or an energy architect or a shamanic guide or whatever you are. You begin to embody it because you have the veracity of having gone through the trials that prepared you for it. So quiet is the power of realness. You see me? You must choose to do the work. Beautiful. You said it. Because when you arrive at your best self and it feels anticlimactic, remember that anticlimax is the sign. The anticlimax is the sign. You see, it's quiet. Real awakening is not loud. I mean, after you really go through all the pain, you just come to this place of where you begin to see the whole thing for what it is. You begin to see for what it is. So, you know, as I end this transmission, I'm going to end with this song called 4,400,000,000. This is from J Electronica. So if you're into numerology, think about it. 4,400,000,000. This song is about prophecy. J Electronica, 4,400,000,000. The West is yet to come. You see? So this is what happens when you awaken. You see? You begin to awaken and you realize that you've come through the fire by choosing yourself. And by choosing yourself, you're now in direct embodiment of sacred geometry. Now I'm speaking in codes. And when you are in direct embodiment of sacred geometry, you're connected to the all. And when you're connected to the all, you realize that your unique nature, whether it's Andromedan or what have you, is programmed for this now moment. So you become a lighthouse of liberation. Liberation for the people. Listen to this. Liberation. Liberation times. You know, I want to repeat the words J Electronica is saying. I'm going to get the lyrics up here because what he's saying here is really serious. Let's see. Lyrics, J Electronica. 4 billion. Where is that? Yes, here it is. Let's go to the lyrics here. All right. This is very important. Please listen to these lyrics. Listen. Listen. J Electronica. Turn down wide. Mother plane, bomber plane, battle in the sky. Surprise, surprise. Run for your lives or whatever. We could die together. Keep my eye open for fake friends who will tell me about it to Nana. How fast you get this cheddar. I'm behind your back doing like Chris Webber. How long the Honorable Louis Farrakhan been telling us to watch this weather? Old Jimbo trying to say it's climate change. Okay. Y'all listening to old Jimbo? You didn't see what he did to the human families of the planet Earth? Even what he did to his own kinfolk? That alone is only completed by the Messiah. If I identify the man who is sinful, all praise is due to Allah. This go bars. Whether I'm blocked, red or left undelivered, I call Mars. J Electronica, the one and only. There'll never be another. And now you're getting away with a true generate to my mother. Switch my operation to avert. Because when I'm too crushed, I have to be undercover. Systems activated. I lay back and peep from on high and get acclimated. I was living with Puff and Cass and never showed up in the affidavit. I'm a smoother criminal than Michael Jackson, maybe. Hope is such a brother to me and so patient with me. I give 19 albums to one that he ain't have to pay me. All I need is eardrums, goody gumdrops. And if you got an issue with me and can't help me with my mission, I just tell my location I would rep on the thumb drive. P.S. The more streams OJ will give you, they'll make you hot. Who are the people of the sun? Who are the people of the sun? It is those of us who claim to follow. Hey! Did you understand what just happened? Did you hear the words of the song? 4,400,000,000? Did you hear that? That's the message from J Electronica that I'm channeling to you. So connect to your sacred geometry because the rules are in your favor. This is a time for you to get into your sovereign moral self, whatever that is to you. You understand what I'm saying? This is the message. Find your rhythm. Folks, if I'm talking to you, type transform in the comment section. Let me know I'm talking to you. If I'm talking to you, type transform in the comment section. Let me know I'm reaching you. That we are alchemizing together. Darlene, Cynthia, Dawn Marie. Yes, Kat. The Briggles, give thanks. Beautiful. I'm so glad Dawn Marie we're in this together. Diane. Kay Williams, Ellie Wynn. This is the message. So I want to send you a lot of happiness this weekend in all that you do. But nothing is ending. Maybe it's the week beginning. Right? Or the strong beginning. How about that? We're playing on words. Words are spells. The strong beginning, not the weak end. You hear me? Are you going to the weekend or the strong beginning? Happy fun day. Happy fun day. Whatever it is for you. Sending you one love wherever you are. 4 billion, 4 million. J Electronica is telling you. So where are you? Peace and light. Thank you so much. One love. One love. Happy strong beginnings. I love it. I love it. One love. One love. One love. One love. One love. One love. One love.